Hi, everybody. Welcome to Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies. I wonder if folks can hear me. I'm having a little trouble with my headset. So let me jump right over to comments. And folks, please do let me know if you can hear me. Welcome to Saturday night live stream, Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies. I'm Jennifer, your host. We're so glad you could join us. We have a great guest with us tonight, Drew, the Haunted Raven. Babineau, I hope I am pronouncing it correctly, and please correct me if I'm not. Hi, Lisa. I'm going to take that as a yes that you can hear me. Yes, we have a great guest tonight, Drew, and he's in the green room. And Drew, I'm going to ask you to sit tight for a few minutes while I kind of do my thing here. I want to say a few things about gals, and then I want to talk a little bit about the topic that we're going to discuss tonight, which is the Bridgewater Triangle. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So welcome to Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies. I'm Jennifer. As always, we welcome everybody to join in the conversation. We want to hear what you have to say. We do say that this is an 18 and over space. I swear a lot, and some of the conversations might be disturbing for some viewers. It's kind of disturbing that some of us aren't disturbed by this stuff. So just got to say that. Also, this is a 420 friendly space, so smoke them if you got them. I know I sure will. Pour yourself a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, open a cold bottle of beer, sit back and relax, enjoy the show, and like I said, engage in the conversation. Last week, I was just coming down with a cold, and this week, I'm just getting over a cold. So please forgive me. I've got my water in a fun new cup, and I also have some cough drops. So I do apologize in advance for that. Also, going into spooky season, I have a new cup. Oh, hi, Piper. Nice to see you. Some of you know how happy my colored pens make me. Well, I have a new holder for them. It's a Skull coffee cup, and it's perfect for my desk and perfect for my colored pens as I do research on subjects that are of mystery and macabre. So that's what we've got going on here tonight. Welcome, everybody. Get comfortable, relax. I do want to say I am new to live streaming. I do welcome critiques. I do ask, please be kind. We are all paranormal, never politics, so this isn't the place for that. And I use StreamYard. I am new to StreamYard. I love StreamYard. And I do recommend it to anybody. They certainly don't pay me. I wish they did. I pay them every month to use this software, and I'm finding it to be really easy to use. So I do recommend it if you're getting into live streaming and that kind of thing. And I've always been kind of somewhat of a video geek, if anybody's known me for a long time. So we're going to talk about the Bridgewater Triangle tonight. And those of you who have watched before know that I have done my research and have my notes and will refer to them quite frequently. As I always say, the research is mine. Any errors in the research are mine, and I apologize in advance for any errors in the research. If you want to know my sources, please DM me. I'll let you know my sources. But really, you got a Google finger. Look it up yourself. Don't take my word for it. So anything I tell you, I believe that I got from a trusted source, and you can take that nugget and go Google it yourself and look it up, and you'll find something that backs it up. So, but anyway, so tonight's subject is the Bridgewater Triangle. And as you all know, I do like to do my research, and I do like to kind of build up to a story, show a timeline, paint a picture. Last week was the Pied Piper of Hamelin. I think I tried to give a history of how that area built up and what was going on economically, agriculturally, that kind of thing. And the Lizzie Borden one a few weeks back, which interestingly started out as a Lizzie Borden live stream, but my research ended up turning it into the subject matter was Fall River. There was just so much stuff, which, by the way, Drew and Piper and anybody who has not watched my Lizzie Borden live stream, please go back to YouTube and watch it. I believe I uncovered Facta Obscura. I uncovered something that none of you all knew, and I was stunned when I found it. And I'm not going to tell you now. You have to go and watch that. It's about 3/4 of the way in, and it's a piece of information that those of us who thought we knew the story of Fall River and what was going on there during the time of Lizzie Borden, we had no idea. We had no idea. I was shocked, and I think you were all shocked when I presented the information. So I would recommend that you go back and watch that. So, but all that to kind of build up how I like to do a timeline and tell a story. Well, when I started researching the Bridgewater Triangle, I couldn't really put together a timeline. There is so much shit on the Bridgewater Triangle. My mind was blown. My mind was blown. I could talk for an hour on any subject, right? Well, the Bridgewater Triangle. Oh, I seem to have a little glitch. There we go. I can talk. Oh, hi, oh, hi, Will. Hi, Joan. I can talk on any subject for an hour, but when I started looking into the Bridgewater Triangle at every turn or every rabbit hole or whatever you want to say, every page I looked at, every source I saw, there was something else and 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 something else. It wasn't just that the Bridgewater Triangle is haunted, or it wasn't just that beware of the Hockomock Swamp. We'll talk a little bit about that. And it wasn't just that there are a lot of UFO sightings in the area. By the way, I hope you like the backdrop. I picked it special for tonight's subject. But what I found about the Bridgewater Triangle is that I could do an hour-long live stream on each one of those things that I just said and more. And all these things take place here in the Bridgewater Triangle. And this is about 50 miles. The tip of it is about 50 miles south of Boston. You see Rockland. And I certainly have some ties to that area. And let me bounce over to a different, forgive my rudimentary graphics. I do live stream in my spare time, and I do have a day job. Shout out to Ladybug Pest Control, my day job, because without the day job, there is no live stream. Thank you, Ladybug Pest Control. So anyways, take a look at this map and you'll see the triangle. I was going to say the Bermuda Triangle, the Bridgewater Triangle. In the top left, you've got a kind of a vague, and then the bigger one in the lower right gives a little bit more detail, but not even a drop in the bucket. You see Stonehill College, reports of a little girl crying. Taunton State Hospital, the Assonet Ledge in Freetown State Forest, Coppercut Road, where there's a mad phantom trucker that goes down the road. The Hornbein School, which is a one-room schoolhouse, which is haunted and has things captured on film. The Red-Headed Hitchhiker. So these are just a few things that I found in my research. Listen to this, you guys. Listen to this, and thank you, Lisa, that you love the background, but ghost lights, poltergeist activity, UFO activity, satanic cult activity, pukwudgies, which are not wendigos. I learned something there. Pukwudgies, murders, fires, Bigfoot sightings, abandoned state hospital, phantom hitchhikers, wars, bloodshed, betrayal, death of children and adults, disease, unexplained rock formations, petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, Thunderbirds, Mothman, giant snakes, giant dogs, giant panthers, giant cats, suicides, drownings, disappearances, historic homes. There's a foundry there. Shot heard around the world was done. Was the battle at Lexington and Concord. That musket ball was made in a foundry there. Deaths, mysterious carvings, rock. I mean, time slips. I mean, come on. In a 200-mile square foot area, which is mind-blowing to me. So what I thought a couple things. I thought one was that, without being too paranoid, it's almost like a secret government area, like an Area 51, where it's like a dumping ground of all this weird shit. Has anybody out there ever seen the TV program Penny Dreadful? It was on Showtime and HBO. And it was a really good, I enjoyed it very much. It was a show, took place in the late 1800s, but it was a convergence of all these historical novel horror characters. It was a convergence of Frankenstein and his monster, and the portrait of Dorian Gray, and werewolves, and Count Dracula, and they all converged on the same timeline, and it was really cool to me to see that all happen. Well, that's kind of what I thought of at the Bridgewater Triangle. All this paranormal stuff converging in such a small area just seemed a little fantastical and mystical and mythical and paranormal. And so I was just, like I said, my mind was just absolutely blown at the amount of information that in just a few minutes you're just hit with all this stuff when you're looking it up. But anyways, a little more about it. It was called the Bridgewater Triangle by a cryptozoologist named, hi, Kathy Ferrara, another one of my #1 fans, by a man named Loren Coleman, who was a cryptozoologist, and he was from California, and he moved here. And initially, the Bridgewater Triangle was the 3 Bridgewaters: Bridgewater, East Bridgewater, and West Bridgewater. And this cryptozoologist Loren Coleman did some research and found out that this activity is really much more widespread over this area of 200 miles, and starts with Abington at the top, Fall River at the bottom right. And again, Fall River, Lizzie Borden, all that kind of stuff falls in there. And a town called Rehoboth on the left. And so he coined that phrase. He also wrote a book called Mysterious America, which I do recommend. He wrote that in the 70s, and it's about haunted activities and places in the United States, kind of a road trip book. So I do recommend that. But so I hope you're all of you have your curiosity piqued, because like I said, my mind was just absolutely blown. I had no idea what I was getting into when I stepped into this thing called the Bridgewater Triangle. I knew a little bit about it, but there are some synchronicities here. I found out yesterday. Yesterday, I was in Easton. I had to take my husband to a doctor's appointment, and I was in Easton waiting for my husband. And I was listening to a podcast on the Bridgewater Triangle, and I find out that Easton is in the Bridgewater Triangle, and I didn't realize that. And as I was listening, I also found out that the town river somehow is connected and empties into the Hockomock Swamp. And I live in Quincy. I live on the town river. Drew, I don't know if you know about that guy in Fall River with the same name as you. So anyway, so just very many synchronicities that are happening kind of all at the same time. And then this week, I was going to talk about the Bridgewater Triangle. I reached out to Drew. He was very excited to talk about it. And then I find out that Drew is really, really into the Bridgewater Triangle. So the timing was right on that. Another synchronicity. So I'm really looking forward to introducing Drew to talk about a few of these things. So I'm going to go ahead and let him in. And Drew, bear with me. I am new at this, so I hope I let you in okay. Let's say, invite guests. You're in the green room. What do I do? What do I do? Let's say, bear with me, please, everybody. People.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? What's that?
Am I?
No, not really. You're good.
Okay, I can turn my mic up. So, welcome, Drew. We're really, really excited to have you here. I hope you listened to the intro. Like I said, mind blown about the Bridgewater Triangle. I had no idea. But before we talk about the Bridgewater Triangle, I just want to say that I met Drew through a ghost hunt at the Oliver House, which, by the way, interesting synchronicity. I think that was about 1 year ago this weekend. So another weird synchronicity there. But if anybody ever has an opportunity to attend one of Drew's paranormal investigations, not miss it. It was so much fun. It was just the right mix of being serious and having a good time, and we learned something, and we made new friends, and we met some of your family. Shout out to your mom. Um, so do not miss an event. If you have an opportunity to go to something of Drew's, go. You won't regret it. So just wanted to say that, Drew. Thank you very much for that opportunity last year, and I can't wait to do something with you again. So that being said, you talk all the I love listening to myself talk. Over to you, and go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself, and how you got into paranormal investigating, and then we'll talk about the Bridgewater
Yeah,
Triangle.
absolutely. So as you guys heard, my name is Drew. I am known as the Haunted Raven. I had gotten into paranormal quite a few years ago. I would say my photos is what got me noticed first. I am a photographer. I am somebody who channels spirits, and what I do is basically try to tell these spirits stories through my photos. And so I kind of got noticed with that. From there, I started getting into the paranormal through a tour, um, another ghost hunting company, basically, and got to travel and get a lot of experience with ghost hunting. I've ghost hunted or investigated quite a few places. I've been as far as Montana, as far as west goes, southwise investigating. I've been as far as I think it's say West Virginia. I could be wrong, but I want to say it's probably about that, and then probably like everything in between. I spent a lot of time at a lot of different places.
And you're based out of Massachusetts,
Yes,
right?
yep. I am currently based out of Western Mass.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I ended up just kind of starting my own things when the company I worked for shut down. I had a lot of people talk me into it because I wasn't going to. I was just kind of keep going with trying to chase the dream of being a locations photographer and just kind of going through and taking photos for people and helping them out with that. But a lot of people liked me, so I figured, they kept talking me into starting up my own company, starting events. So I ran with the idea, and
You've got some location photos out there that are getting noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed there is a location that is using your photos now. And I thought that was very exciting for you. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but please, Drew, make sure that you tell everybody where they can find you on social media. And I'm telling all my friends, I know everybody that's watching right now, check, okay? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I can try to do here is go into the video that we're on and drop my link into
Okay. Great.
it all. Let's see here. But otherwise, you can find me under the Haunted Raven on Facebook for my paranormal and Haunted Raven photography. For my photography. Drop the Haunted Raven photography one, and then Haunted.
There you go, guys. Go over, support Drew, and you won't be disappointed. It's some really cool photography. And like I said, if you ever have an opportunity to do a paranormal investigation with Drew, don't miss it. It's a lot of fun, and it was a great night. So, Drew, one of the things that I found about the Bridgewater Triangle was time slips. Are you familiar with time slips?
Where you lose track of time and stuff like that, basically?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about stepping into different timelines?
I'm talking about losing time, specifically in the Bridgewater Triangle. I found some, what I would consider all this stuff that I found in the Bridgewater Triangle. I found that a lot of the sources are really credible. Police officers and security guards and teachers and that kind of thing. But there were some incidences, two incidences particular that were fairly recent, man, who both weirdly lost time in the Bridgewater Triangle.
Mhm.
And the reason why I bring those up to you is because I wanted to ask if you remember what happened at the Peter Oliver house last year after you took the group out
Mhm.
and then came back in, do you remember what happened? You came back in, and I'm more than happy to tell the story because it's crazy. And when I saw this thing about time slips, I was like, holy shit, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, hi, Michelle, my cousin Michelle.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't fully remember. The thing that stuck out to me the most during that investigation was honestly when we did the double Estes, or no, I don't think it was even a double Estes, but we did the Estes method, using her as the basically like the medium. Um,
Was she out in the truck?
yes, that's like the
Yeah,
one thing that really.
that's
I
just
don't. I vaguely remember being outside. I do kind of remember where there was a moment where we were looking up above us at the trees, because I think we're hearing stuff above us. Because I do remember vaguely like kind of pointing my camera up. And I think there was a moment I think where we did lose a little bit of time, didn't we?
it sounds well.
I was gonna say, go ahead. You can
I'll
tell the
go
story because
outside
I'm
with
sure
you.
your
And
memory is better than
that's
mine at this
actually
point.
why I'm actually not surprised that you don't remember the story that I'm going to tell, because you guys had just come back in. But I like, whenever I tell the story, I like to say, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, but I am afraid of bears, coyotes, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So when you guys went out, I stayed back. I stayed back in the house with Christy, and we sat at the dining table. And the first thing that I want to say was we had no equipment, and we sat there in silence. And if you've ever just sat there in that house in complete silence, it just comes alive around you. You hear people talking, you hear people walking. It's very exciting. But anyways, you took the group out. It was just me and Christy that stayed behind. And you guys were gone for a while. And when you came back in, you guys were all like very boisterous and excited. Your energy was all very high and very good and very positive. But you guys were all like charged. I guess that's
yeah.
you were charged. So you all come in, and within a couple of minutes of you guys coming in, this guy, and I want to call him Dan because I feel like all the guys I meet at all of our house are named Dan. So I'm sorry if it's not Dan. For a few minutes, said, I'm going to go back out and check it out. And everybody just kind of side-eyed him, like, really? Okay, you're going to go out there by yourself, right? True. He went out the side door, and he was gone for maybe 2 minutes. And we heard a crack that even telling the story now gives me goosebumps. Now I can say out loud what we thought it was. We thought it was a freaking shotgun blast. Nobody said it. Nobody
Was this
said
man
it.
wearing a dark jacket, like a brown leather jacket or something? Was he an older gentleman?
He was an older. I don't know what he was wearing, but he was an older, a little bit older. Me, when we say older, he's younger than me. I'm 61.
He brought the cookies, right? Would you believe there was a guest there that was an older gentleman? He brought cookies for the guests for everybody. Like he brought things. I think I know who you're talking about because I'm starting to remember. I feel like I remember him coming back in, and he was like asking about the time.
But not only was he asking when he came back in. When he went out and everybody heard that noise. Well, like I said, everybody thought the same thing. But yeah, I mean, look, if there was ever a time where you could see something floating over people's head, there was a thought floating over everybody's head. We thought this guy had done something really bad. And I also remember thinking, my husband's never going to let me go to a ghost hunt again. But flashlights, and we all went out. And we're all calling his name, and it's dark, and it's echoey, and it's loud, and it's Dan, whatever the hell his name was, Dan. And we all have flashlights, and he's not answering. And this thought that's all over our head is really starting to form itself, and people are starting to dribble back into the house, going, "Man, I don't know who this guy is." And he comes back into the house. Jesus Christ, didn't you hear us going? Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
You could have heard us a half a mile away. We were like a lynch mob out there, screaming and hollering, and everybody's cell phone flashing.
Yeah, now I remember.
And they heard us across the street at the KOA campground. They had to.
Yeah.
They had to, and he didn't hear anything. So now there's two interesting things. One is I thought this guy maybe experienced some type of searching for him. But you also, even now, just kind of looking back, going, yeah, I remember looking up at the sky, and I don't really. And then you talk about, but I remember this double Estes method, and Christy was in it. So there's some
Yeah.
things you remember detail about. Talking about being outside in that area, and you're really not clear
Now
on the
I'm
memory.
kind
So
of
that is
wondering if I was
interesting.
experiencing at times because I'm like, it's very. I'm starting to when you started to describe the sound of us looking for the man. I remember that now because he did come in and he was very confused. It's like what happened, what's going on, and I think we all thought like something happened to him physically. So that and the fact that he wasn't answering, I remember panicking because I was like, this is gonna sound really bad. Forgive me, but I did not want to go back into those woods and have to look for him. And I'm like, nobody knows where he went. So we could have been searching into those woods for hours, you know. We don't know how far he went. So yes, no, now I remember that part very clearly. But before it's interesting because when you had asked me to be on this podcast, I started to kind of panic because I was like, I feel like I don't remember a whole lot that happened that night. Um, I vaguely remember the only thing that I really stood out to me the most was when we did that experiment with Christy, which was phenomenal in itself. Especially you know, with it leading over to a book that's on the shelf that's over there, like it was super interesting. And yeah, no, the house,
It never
it
disappoints.
really doesn't. Um,
Oh, oh, and another synchronicity. Drew, I'm going there
mhm.
tomorrow. They're having a paint day in the
Yeah,
garden.
so I saw that. Did they get the house back?
Uh, Not yet. I can't speak for it, but I do feel that there's leanings to get it back. This paint day is put on by the Middleborough Tourism
Mhm.
Board, and I know that Christy is definitely involved in it. But as far as the ghost hunts, though, I mean, back in December, they emptied the house. They
Oh,
emptied the house.
wow.
They did. Yeah. So like if you were to go in the house now, like the paint day tomorrow, that's going to be in the garden. If you go in the house now, stuff's in there. In fact,
Yeah.
hang on one quick second.
You got one of the photos from the inside.
That's Elizabeth somebody. I'm sorry, Elizabeth, that I don't know your last name, but she lived and died in
Mhm.
that house, and I had an experience with this picture. It was on the landing.
Yeah.
Up the
Mhm.
stairs, not at the top, but on the landing. And I slammed into it, and this picture crashed down. Anyways, a few months later, when they closed the house up, they let me take it home. Every morning I get up and I say, "Good morning, Elizabeth." Every night I go to bed, I say, "Good night,
Yeah.
Elizabeth." And so far, so good. But showing you that to say that they took everything out of the house, the paintings,
Yeah.
the furniture, make it special, you know. Um, mm.
Yeah.
So, Drew, tell me a little bit more about some of your experiences in the Bridgewater Triangle. I had no idea that that was one of your, probably one of many obsessions or passions. So tell me more about some of your experiences. And pardon me, I'm going to have a cough drop.
Oh no, you're good. So, I'd say a couple years ago, this place kind of intrigued me a little bit. Um, First of all, I love hiking, right? And actually, you know, it's there's an actual trail that's over there inside of the Bridgewater Triangle that I used to go to. Um, and I remember it had been about 2 years ago because it was not long after the time of my accident when I went over there. And
Honest, I didn't know you had an accident, and I'm sorry. Hope you're well
oh, it's all
and
good. Oh,
everything's
I'm
okay.
fine now. You know, it was like
Okay.
2 years ago, but it was
Okay.
right around that time because I remember kind of like looking back. There's a video that I made, and I had remember seeing the stitches, so I knew it was around that time. But the evidence that I had gotten in there, I had taken my mom in, um, because just walking through there, you feel watched,
Mhm.
heavily, and I remember bringing her back, and that's when I did a couple of EVPs, and some of the most clearest EVPs I've ever gotten. And actually, I came prepared this time.
Oh, yay! Yay!
So there was this one that I had gotten.
And where was this?
This EVP was taken in the Hockomock Swamp area.
Okay. Okay. Oh my God, the Hockomock Swamp, you guys, unbelievable.
That's actually where
I-
a big obsession of mine is at currently. Is I realize that there are some places where I get fixated on it if I'm not finding enough answers, and I'll keep going back until I can figure out or get a gist of like the idea of what's going on there. I always feel like I'm not
could a
fully
sensitive
satisfied.
person not be attracted to that? The Hockomock Swamp area has been settled by human beings for over 8,000 years. I think a certain type of individual would be drawn
Yeah.
to that.
Well, the Hockomock
that
Swamp was
type
also an area that had that was like close by with like the natives. There was also a battle there that basically
King Philip's
was
War.
a lot of I was gonna say a lot of bloodshed done on those lands, and it's actually Hockomock Swamp or Hockomock itself translates to this the place where spirits dwell.
Yes, it does. My research concurs.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it
it
does.
is very much haunted. I don't think people realize how haunted it is until they go into there and experience it for yourself. And I don't talk about it a whole lot with too many people because I don't want people going in doing the wrong things. I feel there's a lot of people in the YouTube world that are very disrespectful. And I say that lightly, only because you get a lot of people that go in and just demonize a lot of things, and I think you should take a lot more time into understanding what's really there before you label something that you don't fully understand. And it also is in a way like disrespectful to these and that just doesn't go with just natives or places that are sacred like this, but it also goes with just talking to spirits in general. I for one am just somebody who just they're people. They were just like us at one point. Yes, do we deal with some things that are way beyond what our minds can fully understand at times? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say we don't. But that's where the scientific part of it all comes into play, which is really trying to figure out what you are dealing with. Whether it's something that has walked this earth before, whether it's something like residual energy, whether it's something as just like spiritual things like elementals and things like that are actually more prone to the land and the elements versus being something another thing that is also demonized, because again, people don't understand these things,
right?
And it happens, and I get it, because like you just have to like. There's a lot of educating. There's a lot of time where I have free times and stuff, and there's things that I just Google, I read, I educate myself in a lot of the different things. I always find myself that I feel like I'm just full of useless knowledge about these things because I can't.
It's not useless. Here you are.
Oh yeah. Like I can't have
friends.
conversations like this with like somebody who doesn't do these things. You know what I mean? Because they're just gonna be like, dude, you sound like you belong in one of these asylums, and I'm like, that's perfectly fine. That's fine. I'll happily take my straight jacket at this point. And,
well, then I'll have the cell next to you, okay? So
yeah, that's fine.
I think between your friends and my friends, we could populate a whole wing of an asylum, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the Hockomock Swamp itself is something that it's sacred. It's sacred lands. Like anything that has to do with a lot of the natives, I personally find sacred. And with it being sacred, you have to go in there in a certain kind of way, and it's just showing them the respect. I usually go in with offerings. The last couple of times that I've gone, I've gotten oranges, and as you're walking down a path, I've kind of split the orange and I put one half on each side. I always feel drawn, like I don't know. I'm like, I feel weird. I can't put it on just one side because I feel like, I don't know if I'm feeling like it's a portal, which are in there or what, and you just put them at each post. I don't really know, but it's something that I've always been drawn to do and always kind of I've learned to just kind of go with the flow of feelings, and you just do it. So that's all I've done, and I feel like I've never really had any kind of like negative downfalls of experiences in there. A lot of those times are also during the daytime, so maybe that's another reason why. But recently though, I went back with a good friend of mine. Her name is Kayla. She's part of the Spirit Seeker Society. group out there, and which is just a group of 5 girls that are paranormal investigators. They're great. For those of you, definitely like
Oh, we'll
shout
check
out to
them out
them.
for
I was gonna
sure.
say check them out. They're really great, and they're really great girls. You know, but she came out. She's only was like a couple hours away, and has heard the amount of times that I've talked about this place, and she kind of wanted to figure out how it was for herself. So we kind of went in, and well, we had every intention to investigate it that night, but apparently the odds were against us because it was a full blood moon that night, I do believe, a lunar eclipse that night. And apparently we decided, she just hopped
Oh,
into
hi,
the comment.
Kayla. Nice to see you. And hi, Jenny.
So, and out of nowhere, a tornado decided it was gonna happen as well. So,
Wow.
it was literally like a couple weekends ago, and we showed up there because obviously, like in the morning time when I was waking up, I checked the weather that day to make sure we were still gonna be good.
Just a few
And
weeks back when we had that crazy weather.
yeah,
Right?
yep.
Oh my God. I remember where I was during those storms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty
Wow.
wild. So I was already excited because I was like, "Damn, it's a full blood moon. We got the lunar eclipse happening as well. There's like all this energy rising up."
Everything in
Um,
alignment.
yes, it was so weird, and somebody had said it was gonna rain that night, so it was just another reason why I was checking, and it only said for like 2 hours. It said at 7 o'clock it was gonna be 40%, and then like another hour after that, it was gonna drop down to 35%. And we all know, like, okay, at that point, it's not gonna rain. We might get a
Right.
light drizzle,
Right.
but that's it, right? I was gonna say, you're from Massachusetts, so we know the
Us
weather
New
out here is bad.
Englanders. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, I'm like, "Oh, we're fine." Like, there's literally like, in worst case, if we get like a downpour real quick, we'll just kind of wait in the car. We'll wait it out for a few minutes and then head out. Well, as soon as we get there, getting texts on our phones of alerts, and friends are
Yeah.
texting me saying, "Hey, there's a tornado that we're in a tornado warning." And I'm like, "What do you mean we're in a what do you mean we're in a tornado warning?" It's like the sky looks a little stormy, which I was happy because I was like, "Ooh,
Gotta
B-roll is
set
gonna
a
be
mood.
phenomenal." Exactly, yeah. So I
Yeah.
was all hyped about it, and like they're like, "Okay, so it just touched down in Worcester and is heading out to Boston." I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm by Boston area, like I'm literally just south of Boston." I was like, "It's fine, everything's gonna be fine, right? We're just gonna wing this and hope for the best at this point." We go out there, and we're quickly just trying to get the camera set up. We have the trunk up open, and we're kind of standing under that, and literally just boom, just starts downpouring rain, and like the heaviest downpour, and like
Oh,
we're
the
kind of just like standing
sheets
there at
of
this
rain
point, and
that
we're like,
night.
yes. And so we're
Yeah.
just standing there, and I'm just like, well, this sucks. So I guess everything's ready. Cameras are ready, lights are hooked on them, mics are all hooked up, like everything's ready to go. But it's just downpouring, and I'm like, well, let's
Oh,
wait it out at this point because it can't be too long. Because I didn't want to take my cameras out in the rain like that. Light drizzle, that's fine. Heavy downpour, yeah, I don't have the money to just replace these
yeah.
cameras that are just going to get all
Yeah.
messed up from the rain. So we decided we were going to just hop in the car and just kind of wait it out for a little bit. And during that time is when we did what was it? Not Spirit Talker. You know those apps that you can get on your phone that does like it's
Ghost
kinda
tube.
like actually, yes, that's what we were using. So we started off with Spirit Talker, and Spirit Talker was just throwing weird random things in there. So I'm like, all right, let's check out a different run, right? So
Mhm.
we did GhostTube, and obviously because you got to take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
If it's lining up to anything that you're saying, run with it. You don't know what you could unfold, or if you could be ended up talking to a spirit at that moment. Excuse me. So we open up GhostTube, and that point it was quite the conversation we were having.
Oh.
I should be able to look it up and find it again, but during that time it was very much things saying like
I love
we're
ghost tube.
here,
When
like
it
we're
delivers, it
outside.
delivers.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely was delivering that night for sure. I thought I had the responses right here to ready to go, but it doesn't seem like I do. Which is fine. That's fine. But it was basically like a lot of responses of like tying in like outside the car, inside, I was being affected, and like so bad that I was like having to take deep breaths. It was like I can't like it's hard to describe the feeling now, but it was
Like
just a weird
panic or
pain.
anxiety?
I don't really know, truthfully. It was painful though. I do know that, and it was like one of those things where you can't describe what you're feeling, but it is something that's not normal. It wasn't really like a burning sensation. It wasn't really like a stabbing. So it was just a very weird feeling that I just couldn't put into words. But
How
I'm
did
like,
the
I
other
don't.
people feel in the car at that time?
Oh, Kayla's in the comments. Kayla,
Kayla, how did
I
you
was gonna say,
feel?
Kayla, how did you feel? Go ahead, chime in. If she doesn't respond quickly, I will. I'm
I
pretty
never know
sure I
what the
remember.
delay is on the comments.
Um,
So, but okay.
oh yeah, there she goes coming in. No, that's not what we asked. We asked how you how you felt in that moment.
Yeah, Kayla, how did you feel when Drew said he was feeling kind of like, I don't know, I'm the one who's saying panicky and anxiety, but how did you
It
feel?
was like almost like I was having a hard time breathing, if I could
Mhm.
put it that way, because I kept noticing I had to keep like taking in those deep breaths, and I kept having to kind of shift my weight a little bit, like not for where I'm like feeling like I'm crunching over the pain, and like but while we're waiting for her to comment in, I'll keep going with this. But it
Yeah,
was saying that like we were asking, like, are you the one that's causing this right now? And it said, oh, there she goes. There's a delay, but she said honestly calm.
interesting. Interesting,
So
especially in a small space like a car.
yeah.
One person's feeling affected and others aren't. Interesting. Go ahead. So go, you were saying
Okay.
what else was happening?
So she even says here there was a weird balance. I knew he was being affected though.
And then going back to Kayla's previous comment, it told us that it was causing your pain. So you're being affected. Kayla's not being affected.
Yeah.
And
That's when
you
I
have
had asked
some
the
type of
question.
spirit box
Yep.
saying it was affecting you. Oh,
It
wow.
said it even apologized because it wasn't trying to.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
What was that interaction?
It was an interesting one because then it started to lighten up a little bit. I felt as if this person was sitting behind me in the car. I
Mhm.
just kept feeling that there was something just right there behind me. Like
Was
some
it
sort of
just
a
you and Kayla? Just the two of you?
yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah, so there's
nobody in the back
nobody
seat
else
at
there.
all.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
like if there was a real person that was sitting back there, I would have been mortified because at that point you
Yeah.
snuck into the car. You know,
Which would have
um
been the red-headed hitchhiker from the
absolutely
Bridgewater
not.
Triangle.
Nope. We don't need that happening. But
No.
no, so like, at that point, and then it was like it said, I think it said something about like remember you or remember, I remember. Oh, that's what it was. I remember. And I'm like, do you remember me? And it said yes. And I was
Oh,
like, oh,
oh,
okay. You
interesting.
know, yeah, like she said, it was confirming everything that we're experiencing and what I was experiencing and feeling. And it was just very much just God, just the things that it was saying back to us, lining up with what we were asking about, it was very much it was a very intelligent conversation, is what I would say.
I'm glad for you because that's always what you're looking for. You're
Yes.
looking for something to have that conversation, tell you it's the cause of something, interact. Oh,
Mhm.
good for you. Yay, I love that.
The other thing, which is even more interesting, which actually I have EVP recordings that I can show you guys ready to. I do have those
Mhm.
ready to go.
We
I have
definitely want
EVP
to hear 'em.
recordings of that line up to what the spirit box was also trying to tell us. So it was very much giving us a warning. The way that we were feeling, um, there was something in the woods that night, and I felt very off about it. And in that time, it kept saying, "Come back, go, come
Mm.
back," like go, come. It, we didn't understand it in that moment, obviously, because I was like, you're not really like, what is it like? I don't understand. You're not really giving us a whole lot with this. Like, don't come or like come back, go. Like, are you warning us? Like, what's going on? And at that point, like, we were waiting a little bit. I feel like the rain kind of started to lighten up a little bit. So I think like that point we were getting out of the car because we were like, okay, like let's try to do this, and try to see if we can get at least far enough. Worst case, if it really starts downpouring and we can get something out of tonight, we'll throw the cameras under our hoodies or something to like protect them as we like just dart back to the car. So
Can I let my dog in the room? I know you're a dog guy. My dog's outside the room crying. Hang on.
Oh yeah, you're totally good.
Come on. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're totally good.
Okay. All right, buddy.
So, like we kind of made a plan that we were gonna investigate like the field in front, and then we were gonna start walking the trail. And then from there, at least we have two different sceneries, that we could kind of work with and see what it would be like from being out in the open, obviously, to walking pitch black in the dark, through the swamp.
Kayla's comment is interesting.
Yes. That's what I was going to lead up to, is that while we were out there, we kind of just in our gut knew we shouldn't be over there. And every time we would try to pull the cameras out and try to go out, it would just start downpouring again. The lightning was doing weird things too. It was like as if they remember one point where I started to kind of, I do this thing where I kind of wander off a little bit and I get just, I don't know if it's like a distraction, something's drawing me over, but Kayla actually ended up following me over there. I was about ready to start walking over there. I didn't have a camera or anything. She kind of filmed a little bit like off of her phone, because she was just kind of going around with her phone while I was getting stuff ready to go. And, she pulled me back, and at that point, she was trying to help ground me. So she was, no, you're totally good. Was just trying to keep grounding me, and she kept saying like, "Close your eyes, like just breathe, try to root yourself." And at that moment, I remember there was a giant flash, and I freaked out, and I like jumped back because it was literally like as if somebody just flashed a light like right here, right by my eyes. And she saw me freak out. She's like, "That was the lightning." I was like, "That wasn't just a flashlight. I thought maybe something was pulling in or something. You know what I mean? Like a bright light." And she's like, "No, that was just." It was just the lightning. And I was like still panicking a little bit. It was weird, but I'll play these real quick for you.
Yeah.
You can kind of hear a little bit. So this was actually like the first EVP of the night. Can you hear it okay?
Is it too dangerous for us tonight?
So I asked if it was too dangerous for us tonight, and it said yes. Then this next one was pretty interesting because
before you play the next one, Drew, did I hear what to me sounded like chanting vaguely in the background? Did anybody else hear that?
Oh, I didn't hear it, but you want me to be honest, I wouldn't. I think actually there's a part where there is chanting in here. I don't fully remember.
So, but anyways, but I also heard
I've actually had EVPs captured at the swamp with chanting in them. So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised because I've captured that stuff before. Oh, somebody actually here, Michelle Mitchell said she did.
Oh, she heard it. That's my cousin, Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even though I didn't hear it in there, and I'm obviously like, I don't have headphones on, you guys do. So like, what I'm hearing isn't, right here in my ear. Yeah, even Kayla says she swore. Like, that's what I'm saying. There might be one where it's a little bit louder, but it actually, when I think it might be the one that she's talking about. Because I'm thinking, or I'm remembering that we, had caught in that. But again, I've captured chanting. Like, it was, I've captured, what is it? Drumming or chanting. It was like, doo, doo, and it was
wow.
actually right after I had played like a war chanting like song that was native. Trying to see if I like trying to trigger something, you know. And that
Really
was
responsive out there.
yes. So there was that. I want to play this next one, and if you have headphones on, just brace your ears. That's all I'm gonna say.
Can you tell me who you are that's warning us so bad to get out? I trust you. Can you just tell me who you are? Can you tell us why is it dangerous? Is it dangerous as far as the spirits go, or dangerous as far as what these lands as encrypted people to protect the land, or maybe they're the torturers of it?
So
WTF.
yeah. So there, I've learned the first time I ever captured a scream like that, I was terrified. I ran out the building. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. My feet moved quicker than my thoughts did. But I've learned with the amount of times that I get those to listen into the scream.
Mm-hmm.
So with what do I mean with that is to see what they are trying to scream out to you. And I've also learned in this moment here, I wasn't listening. So they're trying to tell me many, many times, right? Get out, go, leave, not a good night, right? I'm not listening to them and I'm still standing there. I'm not leaving. I'm very stubborn and determined to find out, right? Because that's what we are. We're investigators. We're very stubborn. We're not going to listen. We're going to be like, no, we want to keep going, right? But no, this was very much like get out screaming. Top of your voice, like go. Because obviously, again, I'm not listening. And I'll show you as to why, because that's why I'm playing them in order. So you can kind of see, because there's one point I don't get any responses. And then as soon as there's a point where I say, okay, I'm leaving, I get responses again. And I took it as, hey, I'm not listening. They've been trying to warn me enough here. Now, because I'm still not listening, they're done speaking to me, because they're like, okay, well, what's the point? You're not listening to what we're saying. We're warning you. You want to, you know, like one of those things, fuck around and find out, right? So that's why I'm like, okay, but I'm going to replay this because there's another question I asked that the answer was also super interesting on. I'm going to rewind it back about I think it's about 10 seconds. So my question was, like, what's in the woods waiting for us? What happens if we go into the woods? I've asked this question before at a different location in the woods, and I didn't like the response it gave me back. But obviously there's something in the woods, so I asked something again with it, and this is a response. If you go in, you're not coming back. So when I rewind it again, yep. Yeah, you go in, you're not coming back. And I cut it off after, like, you hear the B part of the back, but I cut it off before I could finish, before it finished. But you can hear the sentence and kind of like take it from there.
That is very articulate. It's very intelligent. And again, Bridgewater Triangle, mind blown. Oh my God. These are outdoor EVPs.
Yep, right outside. We're like at this, like we're just standing underneath the car because again, it's raining.
I think
like so we're not
really hard to capture.
So and we're not moving around, so we're just standing there. So you think about it, this spirit is probably just standing right there in front of us.
Right there.
And there was a couple times that we were also moving around a lot. Like not like us, felt that there was things moving around us a lot. Like there was a couple times I know Kayla, we were like looking around and like shining our flashlight in bushes because we're hearing things moving, like walking, running, like as if we're being surrounded. We also had the spirit talker ghost tube going still, and it also said like they're coming.
Can I take an opportunity here and show you a picture of something? A friend of mine, Sue Jacobucci, if anybody knows her, she couldn't tune in tonight, but she's a friend of mine. She's a paranormal investigator, her and her husband, Nate. And we know there's the legend of the Pukwudgie.
Oh, I love Pukwudgies. I'm obsessed with them. I'm trying to capture one so badly.
Sh-
Show me the picture. I was like, just show it to me.
This is number one. This is number one. Okay. Do you see that?
Can you zoom in a little bit more on it? Is there
I can't from here. I'll have to send these to you offline.
okay? But I
Okay.
mean, I see something there. I'm gonna have to.
And here's I'm showing two in a row because it's crossing the road. That's the driveway in and out. You know that driveway at the Oliver House.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Oliver
the
House.
Oliver House. Okay.
See if you can try to follow. So there's the first picture. It's to the left. Second picture. Now it's on the other side. Do you see that? And the
Yeah,
inlet.
the legs
Water.
are spread out. There, you're
I'm gonna have to
walking.
send these to you offline because they're amazing. And this one in particular kind of looks like
Can
that
you send me
porcupine
those
back.
Send me those after this. I'd like to
I
see those.
absolutely will. So, but you're talking about hearing things moving in the woods and walking around you and that kind of thing. And that's where my mind goes.
Yeah.
Those kind of weird things.
So I've had close encounters with those because they give off.
Oh, shit.
There's an instance for where you will get this flower type scent from them that they give off. It's a very
So a
flowery smell.
pleasant scent,
Basically, yes.
as opposed
From what I've
to
read,
a smell.
and I mean, like, if I got wrong information, that's fine too. Like, okay, and then I'll know, next time, obviously.
Mhm.
But as far as I read, that's like one of the signs. Also seeing like small little fires in the woods and stuff like that.
I've heard that too. Now,
Mhm.
let me ask you about the floral scented. They're supposed to be tricksters. They used to be
Yes.
tricksters. Now they're
The whole
supposed
point
be
is to lead you
evil.
off path.
But that's why wouldn't they smell lovely
Mhm.
like a flower
Because
or
you're
a
going to sit
rose
there and
or
follow that smell, right?
exactly,
And the whole point
exactly.
is to get you to go off into the woods farther,
Makes a lot of sense.
you know.
Makes a lot of sense.
They are very much tricksters. They're not nice. Like, don't think like yes,
Mhm.
they look like they're probably cute. They're actually from if I'm not mistaken, Norse folklore. They're part of the Fae.
Okay.
And which is why they are very much kind of porcupine looking like. So that
Mhm.
first photo, which is why I was like, is there any way you can zoom in? Because it looked kind of like it was like a little I don't know what I'm doing trying to like be the
Yeah, well,
porcupine.
like I said, I'll send you the
But
whole
yeah,
pictures
send me that.
unedited. You can see the there's
I
cars and
wonder
stuff
how
and
big
yeah.
that is though. They're not big. I think
That's
they're
why I
only
want to
like
send
they're
this to you because
troll like sizes. It's like a porcupine troll almost, basically.
let me see
Like
if I can give me a second, True. Let me see if I can pull one of the original. Let me see. Oh, I can. One. Can you see that? I can't zoom in on it from here, but
I
that's
mean, it looks pretty damn small.
but yeah. Well,
Like
like I said, I'll
height-wise.
send them to you separately so you can check them out
Yeah.
yourself.
So I've never captured one. I've never seen one. I've just had these little small instances where it could possibly be that, right?
Mhm.
Based off of things that I've read. Now, do I have hard proof like something like that? No. Am I looking for something like that? Yes, that's probably one of the reasons I keep going back because I know eventually I probably will catch one. It's funny because people joke with me about it and they're like, dude, what is with your obsession with puck witches? I'm like, dude, because I'm gonna capture one. I'm gonna
Oh, I
I'm gonna
believe you
tame
will
I'm gonna
too.
end up trying to capture one and tame it like how everybody's trying to tame a raccoon. I'm gonna tame
Yeah.
a puckwudgie.
You're gonna have it as a
Um
pet.
yeah, no, I would love
Yeah.
that. Probably not so much actually now that you think about it.
I
But
don't know. I'm trying to think of Dobby and from Harry Potter.
if it was like Dobby the elf, I would happily snatch one up. I'd
It's
snatch
well,
them
there
up
you
right away.
go, right?
Give them all a
But I
sock so
don't
they're
think
free.
I don't think they are.
Yeah,
So
no.
be careful.
Yeah, but
That's so funny.
no, so yes, I do know about the puckwudgies there very well. I do plan on trying to capture one at some point, but that night
Even if
I
you
don't
capture one
think
on film.
I want to capture it on film, on photo, whatever the case is. I want to capture one, you know. But that night I don't think we had any kind of experience like that. I would say it was very much more or less I don't know. We captured an EVP that suggests aliens. This is weird, and I don't know how weird it is to say this because like we believe in everything else. So why does it make it
Not
so much
weird.
weirder talking about aliens and then we might have had a close encounter with them?
It's
I
not
don't know.
weird.
I feel crazy talking about it, but at the same time, I'm just like I have also done Bigfoot hunting. I'm literally chasing a troll that looks like a hedgehog. You know,
In 1979, there was a UFO sighting by two local Massachusetts reporters. They were working for WHDH at the time of the sighting in 1979. Jerry Lopes down in the far left, I don't know who he is, but in the top right, Steve Sprasia. I'm 61. I've been around Boston for a long time. I absolutely know who Steve Sprasia was. He was on Channel 5 for 16 years. He is a credible reporter. The other thing is that Jerry Lopes is spent 4.5 years in the Air Force, and these two reporters were out down in that area, and they saw something and they didn't tell too many people, and then the Brockton Enterprise did a story on it, and it turns out that all these people in 1979 saw the same thing, the same UFO, and reported by these two reporters. And then in my research, it turns out there have been UFO sightings in that area going back to the 1600s. So yeah, I believe. My show,
so
I
I'm gonna
believe.
play this last CVP for you, right?
Okay.
And this is where we get the suggestion that it's aliens, and I feel like the way the night was going, the way the weird lightning in the sky was happening, like you hear it all the time that a lot of times when they come, right, they come during storms, lightning storms, because they
Yep.
can hide in it better, right?
Yep. Yep.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know, this is
Wow.
very weird for me, you know. But this EVP here. You're gonna hear a weird sound caught in the EVP, and the EVP device I'm using is a DR60, meaning it's voice activated. It only starts recording if it hears somebody talking, right? So
Okay.
it captured. I'll play it.
When you said they're coming, are you referring to the natives? Or are you referring to something more dangerous?
So I asked if when they said they're coming, right? Because this was all leading up to this point. If it was part of the natives, because I asked a question similar earlier about cryptids. It didn't give me an answer. So at that point, I'm like, obviously, I have to word it differently, something that they might understand more. Because obviously, they probably don't know what the hell cryptid is. You know what I mean? That's our terms, right?
Right.
So I
Right.
said, is it the natives? Because they're going to know that. Or is it something more dangerous, meaning obviously whatever is on that land?
Mhm.
And it did come back with more dangerous.
I heard that.
So
I
I'll
did
play
hear it.
that part again. I'll bring it back a little bit and play that part again for you guys. Right there, more dangerous. So we'll lead into the next one. So you heard the clicking, right?
Yeah.
So I'll do it again. So I've recently learned that apparently clicking sounds like that also has to do with, I mean, you hear clicking sounds. I feel aliens do a lot of like weird coding, like clicking and things like that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of research where they have different things. I mean, they have different ways that they communicate, but I've definitely heard of clicking sounds being one of
Yeah.
them. I've even had clicking sounds like that in my house when I've done EVPs before, which is extremely weird and freaked me the fuck out immediately.
Mm.
Um, it wasn't long after, I think, after a night that I hit or a day that I was at the swamp either. But for that to come through as well, somebody else had told me skinwalkers apparently.
Another thing that is known to be in the Bridgewater Triangle.
Which is odd though, because like you wouldn't think obviously skinwalkers aren't really known to be over in this area. They're more known to be in like the Nevada, the western part of New York,
Right.
for where
Right.
more or less on the eastern side we get Wendigo. So could it possibly like be a Wendigo?
Right.
They are very similar, just different. I feel like there's just a couple different. There's a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences at the same time. So again, I'll play into the next one.
If it's something more dangerous, can you just tell us what it is? Just tell us what it is that's out there that's
So I heard aliens right out the gate, but I'll play it back, see what you guys hear.
Yeah.
Go back to the let's just tell us what it is.
I don't know. I'll have to slow it down, but it sounded to me like I said aliens.
When you say it and then you listen again, it does. Maybe it needs a little cleaning up, but that's very interesting. I'm not beyond believing in aliens and UFOs. There's just too many credible reports, not just in the Bridgewater Triangle, but in other places as
Mhm.
well.
Which,
I
have you ever walked that trail over there?
no, I haven't. I'm really kind of new
It's
to
very odd
discovering.
because you would think when you're walking it, you kind of get the sense that obviously, like, having seen sightings there makes sense. It's a
Mhm.
very weird trail. You will walk through the woods, and then it's just one giant circular opening of field. Then you walk through the woods again, and then another giant opening circle of another field. And you walk through it, and it's just the same thing on and off. So you
Hmm.
get right back. It's a loop. So you know it brings you right back to your car, which is why I say like you shouldn't. There should be no reason you get lost in those woods,
That's what I was going to say. It doesn't sound like you get lost if you
but you
follow that
can.
path.
I was gonna say it's possible. That's why, like for instance, time lapse, right? The time slips. There
Yeah.
are portals there. There are disappearances there. There are many, many, many. The list goes on, which is why this place is. I mean, for me, like I do a lot of paranormal investigating. I don't discriminate. You know, I'm here for the
Mhm.
ghosts. I'm here for the cryptids. Is like Bigfoot, all that stuff. You know, I
Right.
recently even did Bigfoot hunting with shout out to my friend Richard. What is it? Richard Brault. He is known as Banter with Richie B. He is actually a very, very knowledgeable person when it comes to Bigfoot hunting. The
Mhm.
stuff that he showed me, which is what I did before going to the Oliver House that night.
You must have
Um,
been exhausted
oh,
that
I was dead
day
tired.
after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
paranormal hangover to the max after.
Yeah.
But seeing some of the stuff that I saw that he showed me, you know, which was all within the triangle. I can't disclose the location. And I actually don't really even know where it was at because we kind of met him there. He picked us up and then drove to the spot. So but I'm talking we saw footprints, massive footprints in the ground, and like so much so you feel it and you can feel the indention in the ground. There's the toe marks where you can feel as if like the toes like gripping into the dirt
Wow.
as if somebody's walking. And I'm looking at this thing and he goes, "Oh, this is just a baby." And I'm like, because they're measuring it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, did you just say this is a baby size footprint? How big is a parent? Like, how big is a full size
Wow.
one, you know? And they're like laughing at me because like I'm obviously a newbie, you know, but I didn't want to do
Mhm.
this stuff alone because I wanted to go with somebody knowledgeable so I can be educated
Yeah.
on those things. There was trees that like you just can't explain how they're formed like that. I'm talking branches that like X's. How does it just perfectly make an X?
You
And you're
know,
talking branches that are broken.
I never
That
knew
way.
much about Bigfoot, and then it was from following you, and that thing that you did with. I think eventually was that on YouTube or something,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
heard
I made a
originally
video
through
over it.
you, and I had no idea. Oops,
Mhm,
some of the things that you're talking about, the things that are footprints, and the trees, the deliberate cutting and shaping of the trees.
mhm.
I have seen that shit with my own eyes. And
Yeah,
when I saw it through you and seeing him and going, oh my God, I have experienced this firsthand, not in the Bridgewater Triangle, not in the Hockomock Swamp, but in other areas.
mhm,
Um, it, local in Massachusetts, not far. What's Ponkapog in that area, Houghton's
okay,
Pond in that area. If you have a chance to check out that area, it's
okay.
kind of similar, I think. But I never knew about that stuff, and it's through you, Drew. So thank you through you that I
Oh,
heard
yeah,
about
but I gotta
Richie
give
B.
a lot of credit to Richie B because that man, I was gonna say, he's the one who brought me out, he educated me in a lot, he was willing to show me the ropes with it all and, you know, show me the findings, and, I mean, the episode, if you guys have a chance, like, do check out the episode because we did actually catch some really cool stuff. He even
Mhm.
messaged back, he's like, "I didn't even realize that you caught some of these sounds even," which thankfully that I was very thankful that I had my mic that day. but it was an incredible experience. Something that I am trying to desperately do again, which I will probably try to do within the next month or so because I ended up getting a lot of free time clearing up in my schedule. So I will probably try to do another episode out soon. But it was, I mean, those of you who have woods in the back of your house or you live in the woods, like take a walk through your woods. Notice the trees around you, especially if you live within the areas where Bigfoot is known to be around or has been seen. And I mean, I think he's been seen all over the state of Massachusetts. You have sightings of him in Western Mass, in the Berkshires area. You have sightings of him over in by Boston area in the east side. I'm sure everything in between. You've had sightings of him in Vermont, New Hampshire,
Oh,
PA.
yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's in the Poconos even for where he's been in PA. If you ever are outside sometimes at night and you hear tree knocks, which is like hitting against a tree and like the echoing sounds that you hear, that's a way that they communicate. He like
I
Richie
saw
had a
that
wooden
today.
bat. Yeah,
I was watching something on the Bridgewater Triangle today, and I saw
there's
somebody
even
did
rock
that
clanking.
knocking,
Yep,
and
rock
and
clanking. So like when
and
you're
it
just
came back.
smacking two rocks together,
Yeah,
you'll hear some of those as well.
crazy.
So, and then if you go into your woods and you see different things, like that's what I'm saying. Check out the video. It's on YouTube.
Mhm.
I can even give the link to
Drop the link right here, Drew. Go
yeah,
ahead.
actually
Yeah.
I think I'd do that right now. And
Okay, good.
it is a very educational. You will see a lot of stuff. And just if what you see in this video, just head out to your like where you guys are at in your area and see what you see out there. Do you see any of like the tree changes, the way the trees are formed, the X's? Do you see what is it? Even some for where they're branched over in like a hut, but like super tall, high up. You know,
Mhm.
there's so many different things. The X's alone, the way that those branches were just, and it's interesting. This is so okay. Sorry, this is just super weird because I was talking about this earlier. I've been having a dream lately where I keep seeing this overgrown bush area with these like kind of it's like a bush like, but you have there's no leaves on it. And I was just talking to a friend of actually I was talking to Kayla about this earlier. And now thinking back, it looks a lot similar to this spot where we found, and I think Richie was saying that it's like a little spot that they probably sleep in and they like crawl through.
Like a den.
Kind of, yes, like a
Yeah.
den. And it's interesting because there was no leaves on that one either. And now thinking back, I'm like, that seems to be the spot that I keep seeing in my dream. So this is just a very weird thing because like I had it last night and we're talking about it. So weird synchronicity, right? That you were just talking about earlier and the timing of lining things up. But yeah, there was just it was just like a bush that was just very overgrown. So you have the leaves or the twigs or that are like or the branches of it growing in almost like this. So they're overcoming, and there's just like a small that you could literally just like kind of crawl through, creating like this tunnel. Like if you see some of that stuff in your backyard, look on the ground. If you start seeing footprints, you got something out there. I know there was an incident where Kayla over here had tree knocks sounds coming, and I had just actually told her about stuff like that because I was like, well, they see him in the Poconos, so I would not be surprised. And then she experiences tree knocks outside of her house. So I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, hi, Jenna. Jenna's just joining us. Yeah, isn't it funny though when you kind of learn these things and then you become a little more open to them as you
really
know
do.
what they are. You're like, oh, I've seen that before. I've heard that before. Is that what that means? And it just kind of opens things up for you a little more. Bridgewater Triangle is just mind blowing. I keep going back to that. Mind blown. So much. A little bit of everything. A lot of everything going on there.
Oh, it's incredible. It's an incredible spot.
So, Drew, we've been talking for over an hour, so I'm going to get ready to kind of wrap things up. I want to thank you. You've been a divine guest. Thank you so much for joining in. I want to say thank you to everybody who watched. Kayla, thank you. It's nice to see you joining us. And Drew, I definitely want to have you back again, and I'd be more than happy to reciprocate when you're up and running. And a little later on tonight or first thing tomorrow, I'm going to send you those pictures. Please tell me what you think. That if you think they look like, I don't know, Puckwudgie or not. So
Yeah, that's fine. I actually I found the link to that YouTube video, and I just dropped that into the comment section there for you guys as well.
okay,
So
perfect.
that's there.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. And I think at this point, it's safe to say that there's going to be a whole lot more coming on future episodes about the Bridgewater Triangle, because we didn't even scratch the surface of the stuff that I've got to talk about. So on that note, I want to say thank you again, everybody. Thank you for watching. And if you watch at a later time, thank you for watching it on YouTube at a later time. Have a good night. And thanks again, Drew.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
absolutely. It's nice talking with you all. Bye.